Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Hello, and welcome everyone to another exciting episode of Friendly Talks with Waseem. I'm your host, Waseem, and I'm absolutely thrilled to have you all here with us today. As you know, this is the place where we sit back, relax, and have some casual, friendly conversation with some amazing people from all walks of life. Today is no exception, and I'm incredibly excited about our guest. He is dedicated and talented personality, hailing from hailing from USA country. So let's give a warm welcome to our wonderful guest. Grab your cup of tea, sit back, and join us for what promises to be an engaging and enjoyable conversation. Thank you so much, sir, for being here with us today. Despite your busy schedule, it's truly an honor to have you on the show. So, hello, sir. How are you?
I am well, thank you. I appreciate being invited. I think we'll probably have some fun today.
So, how was yesterday's session, Independence Day session? You were there. So, did you enjoy the session?
This session?
No, not yesterday. Independence Day
Oh
session.
no, yesterday was good. We focused a lot on the independence and what was going on with Pakistan, and I mean, there's a lot of good things going on with Pakistan, and there's a lot of good things going on with the world too. But if we just focus on that, I think we'll be all right. We stay away from the bad stuff.
Yes. So, I try little bit effort these types. So, on my capacity. So, thank you very much. You are here once again. Uh, sir, let's start this session. So, can you share with us your childhood memories and how they shaped you?
Oh wow. Yeah, I was born in upstate New York in the USA, way out in the country. And growing up, we traveled a lot in the woods and the cow pastures, and we had some cows. I remember we had a cow named Pinky that we used to go ride, and we used to go out into the fields when we were going fishing, and we'd we'd turn over what we called cow pies. The cows would defecate or poop, and once they started to dry a bit, you could turn them over, and they had some big fat grubs under there. And we used to use those to go fishing. Um, in 1969, my family moved to North Carolina, um, which is where I was raised, and we've been here pretty much ever since, except for the time that I was affiliated with the military. So my upbringing was mainly the result of being in a family. We had 17 in the family total. That's including mom and dad. So there are 15 kids, but we ended up losing three or four of them early on. So I was raised in a family with four girls and eight boys. And that's pretty much why I turned out the way I did.
Yeah. So I think you always enjoy the fun with your family because you have huge family, and you no need to go anywhere for fun. So how was your childhood? I think as a kid, were you naughty or quiet kid?
Well, my teenage years were tough. I mean, I did some things that probably should have ended me up in jail or dead or something. But I think all of us going through our teenage years probably do some pretty stupid things. And I had my share of stupidity when I was between the ages of 15 and 16, all the way up to 20 and 21 and 22. I was pretty pretty wild and just did pretty much what I wanted to. It was after I had joined the military, and 2 or 3 years with the military, I finally straightened out. When I was in my first duty station in Spain, that's where I met my wife, and we got married in '86. So it's been a challenge, a lot, but it's a journey, just like Unpassive is a journey. Our lives, our marriages, our relationships are all journeys. Everything is a journey. and it's not so much about the destination as it is about the journey. Um, Life is beautiful.
Yes, yes. So, sir, how would you describe your relationship with your parents and siblings? How significant in this bond to you?
Um, the relationship with my parents was distant at best. Uh, my father worked days and my mom worked nights, and we were pretty much left to raise ourselves with all the brothers and sisters helping, and uh, I wasn't that close. I mean, some of the brothers and sisters, as we got older, we got closer, but in a general sense, I didn't. I wouldn't wish my childhood on anybody. I mean, it was not something I'd care to repeat. There were just too many of us. But the good thing that's come out of it is my perception, and because I did not have that closeness and didn't feel that love of a family so much growing up, I've overcompensated a bit, and I absolutely love my kids. And every time we see each other, we hug and kiss. And I'm spending time with the grandkids all the time. And every time we get on the phone or something and we hang up, it's always okay. Love you, see ya. Love you. It's always very affectionate and very warm from my family because I didn't have that growing up.
Mm, great, great, sir. Great, sir. So, how has your family influenced your personal and professional life?
My family now or the one I grew up with?
Now and in
Okay.
past, that's as well. You can tell both.
Well, in growing up, I couldn't wait to get out of the house and didn't know how to do it. So I joined the military so I could leave the town I was growing up in because it was just a little hole in the wall of town and there was nothing to do there. And if I'd have ended up getting a whole lot of trouble if I didn't get out of there. So it was my upbringing that kind of forced me to join the military to get out and go see the world. Other than that, though, um, my life has been wrapped around and integrated with my wife, who was also military, and she and I both retired from the military. And so we had all three of our kids while we were in the military. Each of our children were born in different states. So the military and my wife has had huge impact in my life. Um, my wife has been uh, my rock. She has been my foundation. She has helped keep me very stable because I was never stable. I was up and down and back and forth and all
Good.
over. But she's my true north.
That's good. That's good. That's good. So, how many year you worked in the military? Your job period in
Say that
military.
again.
In military, your job period. How many years you worked as in military?
Oh, I did 20 and my wife did 24.
Okay, okay, okay. So, how was your job period? Did you enjoy your job, or it was fun? And how do you see the your job period?
Yeah, yeah. The military job was good. I mean, I had when I took the test, I had scored high enough to go into advanced electronics, and so they promised me that they would train me for advanced electronics. And the day that I went to Raleigh to what was called the Armed Forces Entry Processing Station, um, they said, "Wait a minute, we can't give you advanced electronics because you have too many waivers." And by waivers, it means I had to have letters because I'd gotten in trouble quite a bit. And they said, you get in trouble a lot, and we don't want to send you to advanced electronics school because we think you might get in trouble there. So they ended up making me a administration. I worked in an office with all the records, And I liked that. That was something that I enjoyed doing, and that probably led me into management and everything that I've done since. So I enjoyed that. Now, when I switched over to the Army, I was in logistics and I drove all sorts of vehicles for the Army. Didn't think too much of that.
Great, great, sir. Sir, I want to say thanks, Minu Miller, ma'am. She is on chat. She is saying thank you, Jeffrey, for sharing your story with us. Thank you for always being supportive of others and shining the light on others. Uh, Jeff, you are
Wow.
not only a role model and a leader, but you also have the knowledge and experience that others look up to and rely on for guidance. Thank you, Minu, ma'am. Uh,
Wow. Thank you, Minu. Thank you.
sir, besides your family, who has been the most influential person in your life and why?
That would probably outside of my mom and dad. I mean, obviously they were, but in my heart, I think the most influential person in my life has been my wife.
Oh, great, great, great. So, so what values did your parents instill you that you still hold dear today?
Um, I think honesty is right up there at the top. Uh, there were certainly ethical parents, but as a kid, you don't think too much of ethics. You think of what can I do now that's going to be fun, and you hang out with the people that do things you ought not be doing, and you go do things that you ought not be doing. And so I had a tough go of it from about 16 to 22, 23. And that's a couple years after I joined the military. And once I met my wife, though, I started to settle down a little. Of course, I was still a pistol. I mean, I tried 2 or 3 times to date her, and I'd always do something wrong, so she wouldn't see me for 3 or 4 months, and then we'd date again, and I'd I'd make her mad, and she wouldn't see me, and it took me a couple of years to get to get her to see me on a regular basis.
Great, great, sir. Uh, beside uh, I want to ask you this question. If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
If I could have a superpower, I think that superpower would be understanding and directing the human heart.
Hmm.
And I would have that because I think that is a crucial thing to be in touch with here at this time on the planet. This is a great time to be alive, and there are so many things happening in the spiritual realm and with subtle energies and with human consciousness. And if we can understand more of heart with compassion and the love unconditionally that we normally associate with God, then we would be doing more compassionate action. We would be doing more good things for other people, and we would have our minds less on us and more on them, and that would help lift humanity.
Great, great, sir. Sir, how is your relation with your siblings? Do you meet with your siblings? How you see the relations?
We do. I've still got now. None of us live very close, except for my oldest brother. He stays. It's his farm that I'm on. Him and his wife. And when I say I'm at the farm, it's actually his farm, and I've got a home on it. That's a second home because I live in town. My sister also lives in town, and we see each other on occasion, but not terribly often. Every about once or twice a month, maybe. um, the rest of my brothers and sisters live out of town in different states, so I don't see them very often. But of those that I've still got the four sisters, and I think there are four boys left. Um, but
Hmm.
we all talk and we all get along.
Hmm. Great, great, sir. Sir, if you could swap lives with any celebrity for a day, who would it be and what would you do?
Swapping lives with a celebrity.
Yes.
Well, I don't know very many celebrities. I haven't
You like
watched
me?
TV or anything like that in a long time. I really wouldn't know. I would choose somebody that's got a good heart, that's not causing a bunch of drama. If there's a celebrity out there that is living compassionately and doing good and lifting people, then I would probably choose that celebrity.
It can be any politicians or businessmen or not only not necessary so
I
busy.
can't think of a single politician that I would like to swap a day in the life of. Certainly
Okay.
not Trump. Certainly not Biden. I just can't think of any politician that I'd want to do that with. I can't think of any person in particular. I mean, unless it would be just to swap. Well, that wouldn't even make sense. I was going to say my wife, just to understand her better, but I love who I am, and I love my life. I'm learning new things every day, and I'm expanding my own heart and my own mind. And um, I feel like whenever I can help somebody, uh, I try to do that, and a lot of times it's very fulfilling because I'll get somebody to ask a question, and I'll answer the question, and then we start a dialogue, and then maybe they want to make a video, or maybe they want to have an interview, or they want to do something. Then I help them and get them started, and then it's so it's fulfilling to see how they grab hold of what they want to do. I mean, Manu is a perfect example, and other ones that have started off very small. Some of the leaders, Bill Musk and Julie and Lynn, and I mean, there's a lot of leaders out there that started out small, and you have a good sense, a good feeling when you work with them, and then they take off on their own, and it kind of goes back to what Mr. Mufara said 2 or 3 years ago when he said, you can gauge what kind of a leader you are by the folks that you work with that go off on their own. They kind of outgrow you and do their own thing, and that's what a lot of leaders in On Passive have done. And I really enjoy seeing that happen. I think that's a very fulfilling thing.
Great, sir. Great, sir. Sir, if you could have dinner with any fictional character, who would it be and why? Do you like fictional character?
Say that again. Say that again.
Fictional character. Uh, if you could have dinner with any fictional character, who would it be and why? Fiction.
Superman. I want to be
Oh,
Superman. Yeah,
you look
I
like,
mean, because he's got a
you look
good
like
heart and he's very strong and he can do all sorts of great things.
and, and you look like Superman.
Yeah.
So, which Hollywood hero and heroine have inspired you, or you do like most?
Hollywood hero? That's a
Yes.
myth. That's a myth. There's no such thing.
Action.
Hollywood heroes do not exist. So there is
Oh,
nobody in Hollywood that I care to watch or emulate. Of course, I don't know them all, but of those that I've seen, there's nobody that I would choose to have as a neighbor.
okay, okay, no issue. So, do you like song? Who is your favorite singer and what is your favorite song?
There's several of them. There's one that was sung by what was his? Ooh, I mean, I love classical music, and I listen to that a lot. But there are also some contemporary religious songs that I like that are on the radios. Um, but there's no one song that really. I kind of go through phases, and I'll like one song for a long time, and then I'll move to another song for a long time, and it plays in my head a lot. But I don't have a particular song that's my favorite.
Great, sir. Sir, I'm giving you two options. Pick one. Pick anyone. Who is the most handsome between these two guys? Uh, Chris Johnson, Marty DiGamo.
I don't know that I could pick one, to be honest with you. If I had to, well, I don't know. They're both of them kind of handsome. What do you think?
Yes,
is that is
both
that a
are
diplomatic enough answer for you?
handsome by heart.
There you go.
Yes. So, sir, how is it? How it is important the latest trends and technologies in our daily life?
How important is technology?
Technology,
Wow.
AI, and yes, how is it important?
Yeah. Well, technology is absolutely important. I mean, that's the way everything is going. If we can stay away from the bad parts of AI, and there's a lot of it out there, and there's more of it than what people even understand. Um, there are versions of AI that are something that we really have no business messing with. But as a company like On Passive would be, the way that Mr. Mufara wants to work with the AI and develop the AI, we're doing it the right way. And he's even said, hey, we're going to develop it the right way. We're not going to be out there creating something that's going to be bad for anybody. There are companies out there that are creating technologies that in the long run, I don't think will be very advantageous for us to have as a as humanity. Now, it may prosper or profit a few, but it's not going to be good for humanity as a whole. Not like what we're doing with Unpassive. But there are a great many technologies out there. When you start looking at things that are uh, integrated into what we call the metaverse, or a lot of the alternate or augmented realities, virtual realities, the Internet of Things. All of these, when you take the software and the digital Wi-Fi of it all and connect it to the physical products themselves, then it has the potential to really, really make life easy for us. But right now, there's a lot of that being controlled by some bad actors. Um, but technology as a whole is excellent. It's wonderful, and we're not going to get rid of it. We're just gonna use it better.
Okay, good. So, sir, do you have friends, and how important are they in your life? Do you have any long-time friend?
No, I am amazed when I look at my three children, my three kids, grown now with their own families, and they still
Yes.
have friends from high school that they're in touch with. I hated school growing up. I was friends with everybody, but once I was out of school, I went my own way. I've never looked back, never gone to any reunions, don't
Yes.
care to.
Mhm.
I think the longest friends I've had recently, uh, well, Key Wendell would be one, but of course I only met him a few years ago. So it's usually not other people. It's just my family. I like hanging out with my family and my kids and my granddaughters, and I do what I do, and I love hanging out with my wife.
Great. Actually, some people are social, so they celebrate like a reunion. Susie McRae, ma'am, recently I did a show. I think, uh, if you see her Facebook, the reunion with friends and many things, she's very active. She's very active in this matter.
Yeah.
So everyone on. own perception, own ideology about this, but no any. It's not necessary we don't like friends. It's mean this is your personality, what you like most in your daily life. So, do you see your family as a friend? That's good. This is your thinking, and I do too. So, sir, how do you handle stress and pressure in your life, and how do you stay motivated and inspired in your daily life?
Handling pressure and stress. Um, the way to handle it is to not get it, and by that I mean that if you've got a good mindset, if you have some perceptions that allow you some leeway in your beliefs, and if you have an ability to change a belief that does not serve you, then experiencing stress, um, it won't happen very often. But when you do get stress on occasion, and by stress I mean when you have something that is affecting you in the environment coming at you, maybe somebody's mad at you, or maybe something doesn't work right, but it's the environment having a reaction on the person. Then if you put that into perspective and look at that objectively, right, and do not get emotional about it, then it won't start that flood of hormones that make you go crazy. Staying away from drama, staying away from um, things that aren't really matter, that don't really matter in the long run. What I call dividing issues. There are lots of things you and I can talk about, and you and I can agree on a lot of things. And there are things that you and I can disagree on that aren't what I call dividing issues. And by that, I mean, if we have a fundamental belief, say, for instance, you don't think I'm human, you think I'm alien, well, that's really going to put a damper on how I can interact with you. Whereas if we're talking about you'd rather live somewhere else than I do, and vice versa, and we don't agree, that's fine. We don't have to agree on everything all the time. And I think a lot of the stress and the things that we go through that cause stress are simply the result of our perceptions. Because until we assign meaning to something, everything is literally neutral. There is no meaning to anything until we personally assign a meaning to it. So just knowing that and keeping a objective view and kind of keeping neutral about things help you to not get stressed out at all. And I don't normally feel any stress. Now, on occasion, when the 2-year-old granddaughter is going crazy and she's crying and she doesn't want to eat, yeah, I feel a little stressed, but even that passes.
Great, great. Sir, I have multiple times seen you love your wife and kids, and how you uh, how you do this. Did you ever fight with each other or harsh talk? How you maintain that? When you live with your wife and uh, not necessarily you live as the same situation. Sometimes you disagree, sometimes agree. I have seen you last time. You were looking for looking out. You are carrying your dog, your wife dog.
Oh
Even
yeah,
it's your wife dog, but you are caring. You are taking care of your dog and taking care of dog and food and many things. Is good. It's good. It shows your love and so. What do you want to say about this? Did you ever disagree with
yeah.
your wife and how you maintain this?
Well, yeah, marriage. There's a dynamic in marriage that I mean, anybody that's married knows there's a certain marriage dynamic that we all have. When you live with somebody, you don't always get along with them. I remember when I was very very young. We'd get into spats, or we'd fight with each other, and we'd be mad at each other for days, and You'd go to sleep together, and you'd be like laying on the scene. Don't you touch me, and that's just a dynamic. I haven't seen that in many, many, many years. Now we just, we have a difference of opinion on some things, and they're not dividing issues. And I respect her opinion, and a lot of times I go and ask her what she thinks about this or what she thinks about that. She helps to keep me grounded, helps to keep me with an open perspective, and helps to change my perceptions because she is much more diplomatic than I am. She is much, much better at sugarcoating things and making things sound a lot better than they really are, and she's very, very careful about how she says what she says to people. And I try to emulate that sometimes. Uh, when I first met her, I had no there was no carburetor. There was no governor on my throat. Whatever I thought, it came out, and I didn't care what people thought. That was my opinion, and they got it. Not so much anymore. It's just because I realized that it's just not worth it. Everything we do is all about this journey in life, and life is good. Life is good all the way around. So I enjoy the dogs. I didn't. It's a learning thing for me. It's a growth experience. I did not want dogs. I didn't want a dog, much less two dogs.
Hmm.
This week I've got three because my daughter's dog is here, so I'm taking care of three
Oh,
dogs.
okay,
But
okay.
it's a journey. It's a growth thing. God sometimes says, "Hey, this you don't like this, and this really rubs you. So I'm going to put some dogs in your life to get rid of that sharp edge on you." And it happens with a lot of things.
Great, great, sir. Sir, when did you meet with your wife first time in your job in
Yeah,
Malaysia?
well, no, not really. In 1983, I had come home. My father had died, and I came home from overseas and spent some time at home. And when I went back over to Spain on the flight, I had a seat with her on the flight. That's where I met her for the first time. And a couple of months after we were at Spain, I ran into her again and I asked her out. And we went out and I made her mad so she wouldn't see me for another couple of months. And then I saw her again and she wouldn't see me after that time. It took me 4 or 5 times dating her before we started dating seriously. So, but I met her the first time on the plane going over to Spain.
Great, great, sir. Sir, your actions show a great deal of empathy and responsibility. Can you tell us about the values that drive you and how they influence your daily decisions?
I think the values that I've got within me and the ones that I push out to the world, all come from heart. And I think at a very basic level, it's those values that everybody loves that you find in spirituality, not so much religion. I've come to believe that religion, as a whole, is a mechanism of control, but true spirituality is where you meet with God at a personal level. And we all know, I mean, there's one God, and He is loving and has unconditional love, and everything that comes from that. And so I think it was probably that spiritual value that I grew up with most, and want to emulate and want to push out to the world as an example. Simply because when you do that, it it allows you to be a lot more and see things differently. It allows you to live more at peace with yourself and with others.
Great, great, yes, sir. Sir, do you like traveling?
I
Uh,
do, or I did.
so I did. Can you tell us where have you traveled outside of US?
Oh yeah, I spent 3 years over at Spain. From
Mm-hmm.
there, I would drive over to Portugal and Gibraltar, spend 2, 3 weekends there. I've been to Egypt and ridden on camels and checked out the pyramids and Palma de Mallorca, and been to Italy several times. I've been over to Singapore. Yeah, I like. I've been to Sigonella, Sicily. Um, I love traveling. I'd like to get back to it. Can't afford it right now. Not sure that I want to with everything going on in the world, but we will sooner or later once we get rolling. But to answer your question, yeah, I love traveling. Always did enjoy it, and it allows you a certain liberty with your perspective because you get to see how other people live. And this was something that I talked about yesterday on your Independence show. Was that without me interacting with people like you and Sushanta, Bangladesh people, Pakistan people, even other people all over, I get to see how other cultures are, and that's one of the great things about On Passive is we're in a lot of different countries and we get to see a lot of different people with a lot of different cultures. Uh, some of them aren't like ours, some of the traditions aren't like ours or like the ones I know. But it helps us all to expand ourselves, expand our heart and our consciousness to understand these things. So, yeah, I love traveling.
So when you are coming to Pakistan,
I don't know. When is On Passive going to make me living more in abundance?
I hope so soon, inshallah. And in USA, which state or city you like most? Do you travel? Did you travel in USA? I
I
know many
know.
people.
I
Mm,
mean,
sorry, sorry.
I've been out to the West Coast. I've been up the north, down in Florida, up in New York, out in California. I don't care for big cities at all. I want the country, or very close to the country. I don't want to be in cities, so I don't really. I like right here on the farm. I'm fine with it. Maybe one day I'll get out to Arizona. I'd really like to go to Sedona, Arizona. There's a an energy vortex out there that makes it really cool to be there. If for those folks that know what that is. Also, Arkansas. I'd like to get up to the Arkansas mountains because underneath those mountains are some huge, huge, absolutely. I mean, some crystals as big as football fields that have some very dynamic properties up there and do some neat things. So I'd like to do some traveling, but I don't get out very much.
So, which country you like most for travel?
Which what?
Which country you like? You want to travel?
Well, I really enjoyed Spain. I I'd have to say the U.S. because I speak the language here and I know where I'm going when I want to go somewhere.
Mhm. So, do you like food?
I do. I do. I like food.
So,
I'm
did you did you
but I'm
ever
a health
tasted Pakistani food?
I'm a health nut too. I haven't eaten meat for years, and
Mm,
it wasn't something I just one day decided to do. It was a gradual thing that uh, as I learn and as my own consciousness expands, I realized that meat probably wasn't the best thing for me. So I do fruits and vegetables. On occasion, I like tuna fish. I like tuna, so on occasion I'll do a tuna. But for the most part, it's salads and fruit drinks and vegetables and things like that. But I like it. Yeah, it's good.
do you like sports?
No, I couldn't tell you what season it is. I don't know the difference between a well, I know
In
the difference
Pakistan,
between a basketball and a football, but no, I don't care for sports. Don't follow any teams. Couldn't even tell you how to play most of them. So never did anything with sports.
in Pakistan, people are crazy for cricket, but I don't. I don't like because it's very lengthy game. And recently, Olympic in Olympic Paris Olympic. Pakistan won the gold medal in uh, Olympics. I don't know what to say. Throw the spear. What do you say in
Javelin.
English?
It's a
Yes.
javelin. Throwing
Yes.
the javelin.
He made record 92.97, the
Wow,
highest.
that's long.
Yes, long. So the second man was from India, Neeraj, and both are friends. They both appreciated each other, and it's good. It's good. It's a good gesture, a sportsman spirit, and both mothers said well wishes for other sportsmen. So it's good. It's good thing. So Pakistan is very happy, and they welcomed his name was Arshad Nadeem. His name was Arshad Nadeem. He was from poor family. The good thing is that he was not he didn't get any support from any side. He live in village, and he did himself, and he won the gold medal. It's good. It's good. So
That's quite an
sir,
achievement.
yes. So achievement. That's achievement. So do you like book reading?
Say that again.
Book reading, books reading.
No, I don't. I used to read, but now with the audible books, now with the audio books, I like audio books, and I do lots of podcasts. Oh, and I'm a member of the Gaia. There's a Gaia channel. There's a Gaia app uh,
Mm.
that is just phenomenal. I mean, it's got so much. It's got more on that app than I'll be able to assimilate in a lifetime. So, but yes, I like books, but I listen to them rather than read them.
So Minu ma'am sent the chat in Urdu. You can see on screen, and you know what she said? He said, "Please, Jeffrey, consider me friend." When I asked a question about friends,
Oh, Minu, I love Manu. I love Manu. I started seeing her. I don't probably a year ago. It was a while back, but she came up and she was hanging out with Marty and Chris and those folks. And she reached out one day and she wanted to do something and wanted some help. And I thought, oh, this would be great. And so we kind of started working together and had a lot of fun. And she's got a heart that's just, you know, it's a good heart. She's got a great heart and she wants to do these things. And it's good to see her blossom into these. And I say that with a great deal of affection for you, Minu, that I've really, really enjoyed. And I still enjoy you with the topics and our discussions. And yes, I think if I had a female friend in on passive, she is she's if she's not the number one, she's got to be number two. I can't think of right now who number one would be if it's not her. But yeah, thank you, Manu. I appreciate you.
thanks. So actually, I'm inviting her from long time for my
Oh, hey,
reception.
wait a minute, wait a minute. She said, Jeff, it was you reaching out to help me. Oh, I didn't know. I thank you. I appreciate you correcting me.
So it's good. It's good. Actually, I'm inviting her from long time, but I don't know why she's not coming. I think she's big leader.
She will. She, she's come a long way. I was teasing her one day and said, you should you go listen to some of the first videos you did and listen to the ones that we did that day and there's a big difference. She has really come a long way on several different fronts, and my hat is definitely off to you, Minu. You wow, you've done some good things.
Yes, I have done almost 100, more than 100 interviews, and more than 60 interviews in English language. So actually, these interview is my assets. So this is my library. So I want to do interview with every leader. So many leaders interview I have done with many leaders, but I want to do many who remaining. So and Minu Miller is one of them. So I wish. Wait a minute. What is it? Wait a minute. This is not about Minu. This is about Jeff. So so last question. What message would you like to share with our audience about the importance of supporting visionary leaders like Ash Mufare?
Visionary leaders, they're well. Let me start by saying that everything is cyclical. For everything there is a season. Visionary leaders rise up for a season. And right now, there are lots of visionary leaders in the world. Obviously, Mr. Mufar is one of them. Um, find leaders that resonate with you. Find leaders that you agree with on certain things, on their leadership styles, on things that they might want to do. Are they philanthropic? Do they help others? Are they what are they about? If you find somebody that's a leader, a visionary leader, it just means you found somebody that you can respect and get behind or follow for whatever that vision is. Obviously, with Mr. Mufar, um, I am behind him 100%. I'm disappointed, even as Ash is, with some of the things that have happened in the last several months. But that's that's part of the economics going on in the world. That's part of the business models we see in the world. That's part of the stuff going on in the world that we don't like, and sometimes we call it dark. Sometimes we call it nefarious. Sometimes it's just evil and mean, but the whole world goes through it. And I like with Mr. Mufar in particular when he says, let's keep moving forward. Let's keep on keeping on. We're not going to quit. Yeah, bad things happen to good people. He said that. He said, I've had some bad things happen to me lately. And I'm like, yeah, we see that. He has taken the brunt of most of the abuse, he and his family, but he's still here strong. You still see him. He's got that glint in his eye when he talks about his baby on passive. So leaders in general, visionary leaders in particular, have a singular vision, and that's what drives them. That's what motivates them, and that's what makes us feel strongly toward them that we can help them because they have that resilience. They have the will, the determination, and the resources to go after that. So we get behind them in a way. So, yeah, find the leader and go after them. Whatever resonates with you, because when you can agree with somebody that's got a bigger picture going on, that gives you a better perspective at trying to make things happen the way you want them to happen. I
Thank
hope
you
that
very
is.
much, sir, for your valuable time, and it was wonderful session. I really enjoyed it. And before we go, I want to say today is 15th August, India Independence Day. Yesterday was Pakistan Independence Day. So happy Independence Day, Pakistan. Happy Independence Day, India. We wish both country. So thank you very much. We'll see you in next session. I'm looking forward many sessions with you. Every time I really enjoyed your every session. Thank you very much, sir.
I too.
Bye bye.
Thank you.